Okay, so I've done individual reviews on both of these quads, and I've sort of fully covered everything on them individually, I think anyway. So what I thought I'd do is actually put them side by side and go through the different points between the two. So hopefully if this is the sort of drone you're after, it will help you make an informed decision on what one you might want to buy. This is done right at the beginning of 2017, and I'm guaranteeing, as everyone will this year, that there'll be loads and loads of foldable drones coming out this year, or selfie drones. This sort of style is going to go big this year, I'm sure, so there'll be loads out there to review, but I just thought I'd do a head-to-head with these first of all. So physical appearance first of all, obviously much larger quad, the build a lot better, I would say, feels a lot better purely because it's physically larger as well, and as you can see this one's obviously smaller, so the benefit of this is it will fit in your pocket. The disadvantage of this is it won't fit in your pocket, so huge difference there. First of all, the weight is totally different as well. This one's over twice the weight of this one. This one comes in at 73 grams and this one's 158 grams, so huge difference there. That's both of them measured with their batteries in, ready to fly, because it's in a fly state that I would always do a weight. Not having the battery in, I don't really see an awful lot of sense in weighing it that way. So as you can see, physical changes as well. Tiny little prop, not even half the length of these ones, much bigger. So this one's going to give you a much more stable flight, and it's got a lot more air, it can move around it, sort of thing. But then it has twice the weight to move. So there's pros and cons with everything, isn't there, that you do. Both of them can fly using an app. And so this one actually uses a generic app called Wi-Fi UFO, and I've done a complete video on how to use that app, and I'll put a link down in the description for that. This one uses an app written for Skytech, as far as I can understand, and this is called Go FPV, and but the interface is very similar to this one. So if you could fly using this one, then you could definitely fly using this one. The apps both work really well, but there is one huge main difference between the way the apps respond with camera information being fed back to your phone or your tablet, and both of them work on Android or Apple. This one has a very slight delay on it, but it's quite usable. So basically when the quad turns, the video takes sort of a little time to catch up with it, for half a second, something like that, I would say. This one takes 3 seconds to catch up. So if you're coming towards a tree and the tree first comes into sight and then you hit it after 2 seconds, this still wouldn't have even sent the information back to you that there was a tree in front of you, let alone the fact that you've hit one. So virtually for flying through tight things and just using FPV, which is basically first person view, that stands for, so it's basically a cockpit position you're looking out of on your screen, this would be virtually useless. But it does have a benefit that if you're lining up a shot, and the same as this one would as well, you can line up a shot with it, move around till you get exactly what you want in shot using your screen, and then carry on with your video or take your still image. The video size on both of them is exactly the same. It's 720 pixels by 576 pixels, and both of them produce a still image, but the still image is exactly the same quality as taking a still from your video, so I never see a benefit. I just shoot video and then take out any bits that you wanted from it. The video quality is not good on either of them. It's not really designed to be sort of mega brilliant or HD or anything, and they don't profess to be HD, so you know, they are what they are, basically little tiny cameras just for you to get a record of something. Or perhaps it's a way of you getting introduced into flying drones, might be another thing. I said they both fly on using an app, but this one actually comes with a transmitter as well. So, and this is a nice transmitter. I've enjoyed using this. It is a toy grade transmitter, so it's not a hobby grade by any means. And you clip your mobile phone into here, or if you've got a small tablet, it'll take it as well. And then obviously you can use the FPV system, but you don't have to have that running to actually fly it. So you don't actually need to have the screen on at all. You can just fly it, just learn to fly without. This one you must have a screen, you must have a tablet or a phone to actually fly it, otherwise you're totally out of the air. The controls and everything are good on this, and I run through that in full detail on the actual individual one. But this is a huge difference in application of using this quad against this quad. This transmitter is a huge benefit in my point of view. Okay, so like I say, the cameras are both identical in quality and size, and this one actually can tilt up and then tilt down quite a bit actually. I don't know what the actual angle is, but it's a reasonable amount. The only thing with having tilting cameras on quads is you never sit, as soon as you go forward, the quad will pitch forward, so it will go like that, so the camera angle is going to change constantly anyway. So it's just to give you an idea. If you definitely want to be above a subject, you point it downwards. If you think you're going to be flying under something, which is kind of unusual, you can be pointed slightly upwards, but then as soon as you pitch forward, of course pointing upwards then becomes level. So that's why these cameras go up and down on this particular model. This one has a very slight movement. It either goes dead flat or you can point it down very slightly. So there's a slight, you've got a slight pointing down or dead flat. So, and that's all that one does. Okay, so that's them physically side by side to just do a measurement across the diagonals on the motors, which is the usual way of measuring quads. And just, I'm not going to be hugely accurate here, but you're looking at 270 millimeters on this one, and you're looking at 180 millimeters on this one. Okay, to turn the quads on, they both have the batteries are connected inside, and the battery bay is then locked up, as you can see there. I've not had either of them open out when I've been in flight or had little crashes or anything, so the battery is well and truly safe in there. Nice thing about them, they then have an on switch, so they're not live until you actually hold this down, and then you get your flashing LEDs, and you've even got the blue LED on the top. LEDs on this are absolutely superb. You can see them from virtually any angle, and they're really nice and bright. On this one, hold it down again, flashing LEDs. The reason they're flashing, by the way, is because they're not bound to any transmitter or to a phone or anything, so they stop flashing when you do that. This is excellent as well on LEDs. Both of them are absolutely superb LEDs on both of these quads, and the nice thing about both of them is you can see them virtually from any angle. So that's with the studio lights on, and that's with the studio lights off, and as you can see, really nice. Superb night flies, and actually they work well even during the day. Okay, so that's them all out, and as you can see, ready for flying state. This one, as you can see, has landing gear that swings around. Everything's stored on board, so that literally clips around to there. You could possibly fly it with that there and coming to land on these bits here if you wanted to, but it is quite close, and I think any deflection it is going to hit, and these props are very flexible, so I wouldn't suggest you fly like that. I think you could wind up with a serious problem very quickly. So this one actually has landing gear, as you can see, so it can come in and land on reasonable height grass and it won't get caught and bound up in it. This one has nothing at all. This one just sits down flat on the ground like that. So any high grass or anything, you're definitely going to clip into there. It's going to get stuck and bound up in it. Both of them you can hand launch without too much trouble, or this one, if you needed to, you could just literally on any small surface. It only has to have something just to hold it there to take off to give it a little bit of elevation, so there wouldn't be a problem at all. I'm sure I've not had a problem with it. Let's see them folded up. So this one you fold in the front ones, and a key point with them is these arms are not locked in position. They can just move to anywhere. So on an impact, it would be quite saving, probably that you'd be less likely to damage it. This one here, they're actually locked in position, and you press a button to release them. So you fold the front ones in first of all on this one, and then the back ones, and then everything is tucked nicely out the way, and it basically brings it down to a size of a mobile phone. So nice and easy, will fit in your pocket, no problem at all, and the props are all protected as well, so that's a nice little easy carry. I actually put this on top of my phone and then stick the whole lot in my pocket, so I find that quite good. This one's totally different. You got, put the feet out the way first of all, and as you can see they just click into position. And then you fold in the arms, and it's got a button here that releases them, but they've got two different click positions, so it can click to there and then into there, into the body of the quad. And as you can see, pull in the back ones first of all on this one, and then you do the front ones as well. These are locked into position with this button here, so it comes around and literally locks a gear in position. So if this takes an impact here, it's probably going to damage something, but if you're hitting something that hard anyway, you're probably going to damage it anyway. So I don't see that as a disadvantage. I see the fact that it can't actually flop around if it gets a bit warm as an advantage. For me, I'd much rather something was definitely locked in position. The other thing about this is when it's round and you're in transport mode, so basically like this, they lock in position again, so they're not actually going to fly open or anything. Not that it would be a real problem, but it's not going to get suddenly caught in anything. So to undo them, you simply press the buttons down again. And as you notice, huge difference in size now. So this is literally twice, easy over twice the size of it now this way, and it's about one and a third the size that way. So this doesn't fit in any of my pockets. I think I've got an overcoat it would probably fit into, but that would be about it. It's really more for a bag, I would say. And certainly if you're then going to carry the transmitter, you're definitely into quite a bit of carrying area. But for the size of the quad, it still comes down quite small, I think, but certainly not pocketable. They both take single cell batteries, and this one here is an 850 milliamp hour battery, and this one is actually onto here is 500 milliamp hour. And time, I was getting just over 7 minutes flight time with this one, and just over 10 minutes flight time on this one. Okay, let's get down to brass tacks and basically costs. This one is reselling at the moment at around £30, and this one sells for £45. So this one's 1.5 times dearer than this one. Now, there's a heck of a lot of difference in them. You've got a lot more going on with this. It's much bigger physically, a bigger battery and everything else, and you get the transmitter as well. So, you know, there's a huge difference. But if you've only got £30 to spend, and this is the sort of drone you want, then this is actually a really good buy. If you've got £45, you could buy this one and have a few extra batteries, so you wouldn't run out of batteries, and this still might be a better deal than going for this one. Okay, so out of these two, my overall choice for what I would definitely pick, and there is absolutely no doubt in my mind which way this would go, it has to be this one. This one wins hands down as far as I'm concerned. Yes, it's a bit dearer, but I would rather save the money and get this than this. The reason being, I much prefer flying with a transmitter, and this comes with a really nice transmitter. It's got a really good feel on it, and I just like the way it flies. It's really nice, very impressive, I thought, for the money, certainly. The other thing is I'm not too worried about FPV. I've got FPV quads, you know, loads and loads of money's worth, and invariably, even though I could watch the screen and fly in full HD on a couple of them, I'd still fly line of sight. It's just what I prefer. Now, if you prefer flying FPV, then this one is probably going to be better at the moment. I'm hoping they'll improve the lag on this, but it doesn't bother me either way. This I would still go for. Even if it didn't have FPV on it, I'd still prefer this at this money than this at this money. But if you're a person that wants a quad that folds down this tiny, and then you can just pop it out of your pocket, connect it up to your phone, whiz it up in the air and take some selfies or take some aerial shots of where you're visiting, then this is definitely for you, because this one takes up a heck of a lot more space. I'm again quite lucky. I don't need to have something that small to travel with. I can easily carry this, and I'm used to carrying more. So to carry this and the transmitter is in a small bag, to me, is way better again than this. So I hope that's helped you with your decision. I don't know, it's the first time I've done a real comparison like this, so yeah, let me know what you think, and keep following the channel. I really do appreciate your support.